Design number 7. Cottage Residence. A floor plan from 1857. This design illustrates a cottage residence built for Mr. Wright of Goshen. It was required that the kitchen and its accessories should be on the same floor as the living rooms, but the house was not proposed to be of such a size as would warrant the erection of a separate wing for this purpose. The whole building is, therefore, under one roof, and the kitchen is so placed that its contiguity to the principal rooms does not interfere with the privacy that properly belongs to the apartments in constant use by the family. A porch of brick, communicating by arched openings, with verandas on each side of it, forms the principal entrance, and opens onto a hall 8 feet by 15 feet 6 inches. This porch is so arranged that the arched openings at the sides can be closed with glazed frames in winter, and the central opening fitted with a frame and door, thus making a double hall. That is a great advantage in severe weather, as it prevents the ingress of a draft of cold air whenever the front door is opened, and offers a protection from storm to visitors while waiting for the servant to attend to the bell. The parlor and dining room open from the hall by doors opposite each other. The parlor has a bay window and a door opening onto a small private veranda that is not overlooked by anyone approaching the house. The dining room is 15 feet by 18 feet 6 inches. It is undesirable that any dining room, and more particularly one that is used as an ordinary living room, should be directly connected with the kitchen, for various evident reasons. And it is equally inconvenient to have the halls and passages that belong to the other apartments occupied several times a day by the servant whose business it is to prepare the table for meals and to clear away afterward. In the present instance, the difficulty has been overcome by constructing a one-story enclosure corresponding in design with the private veranda on the other side of the house. This is of wood, and, at small cost, adds much to the convenience and something to the appearance of the house. Its effect is shown on the lower perspective view. A pantry between the kitchen and dining room is thus obtained, communicating with both, and by this means convenience of access, without loss of privacy, is secured. A storeroom for the kitchen is also supplied in this little outbuilding, and also a sink room. This latter, having 2 small windows on opposite sides, is well ventilated, and renders the kitchen a much more pleasant apartment for servants to live in, as it relieves it of the most disagreeable part of the work. The kitchen is 12 feet by 15 feet 6 inches, and has a door close to the back entrance and to the cellar stairs. If preferred, this back entrance might be shut off entirely from the principal staircase by a door across the hall on the same line as the cellar door, thus disconnecting the kitchen still more completely. But it is not shown so on the plan. The staircase hall is entered from the main hall, and communicates with a bedroom, 12 feet by 14 feet, on the principal floor. This room could, of course, be used as a library or study if preferred, but it adds much to the convenience of a country house to have one bedroom that, in cases of sickness, can be approached without the labor of going up and down stairs. It is worthy of consideration in a cottage residence that, at seasons of festivity, the rooms may be required to hold an unusual number of persons. And though it is not desirable to sacrifice any family comfort in the plan on this ground, it is as well to bear it in mind. In this design, in the event of an entertainment, the rear entrance should be used by visitors. The bedroom would thus be close at hand, and could be used as a cloakroom, while the parlor and dining room would make one suite with the front hall and porch, the doors of communication being thrown open. Additional room could be easily gained for a summer entertainment by temporarily enclosing the front veranda outside with calico, or any similar material, lightly affixed. And if the veranda posts are covered with creeping plants, as they should be, the effect of such a leafy gallery as is thus obtained when lighted up at night is very cool and elegant. The chamber plan contains 4 bedrooms and a small study or sewing room, 8 feet by 11 feet, opening by glazed doors onto a balcony over the porch. A flat of this sort offers a good opportunity to the ladies of the house to cultivate flowers in pots with little trouble, and when thus used, it is a useful and agreeable accessory. In this country, either from climate or some other cause, ladies generally find it either too hot or too cold for gardening. And as it devolves on the feminine portion of the household to attend to these minor matters where a regular gardener is not engaged, it is worthwhile to take advantage of any opportunity like this to keep the flower vases filled with finer and better tended specimens than will be likely to be found in the flower beds on the lawn. The attic plan contains 2 servants' bedrooms and a roomy garret. The plan of the roof of this house will illustrate the general arrangement that experience seems to show is the most desirable for the roofs of country houses exposed to a climate so peculiar as that of these northern states. It is suited, indeed, for any climate, but is especially called for here. The main requirements in a roof are that it shall keep off the wet, that it shall offer no opportunities for snow to lie where it can thaw and freeze and be a nuisance, and that it shall supply cool and commodious attic rooms, if needed. By projecting the roof 2 feet 6 inches or 3 feet and cutting the gutter into the rafters, the walls will be well protected from the wet, and by invariably avoiding solid parapets and horizontal gutters between gables, the snow will be no inconvenience. A flat connecting the various ridges supplies free room in the attic and is in every respect a complete mode of construction, while any plan that requires gutters between the gables is sure to give trouble at some time or another. The snow that falls on a flat of this sort is generally blown off at once, as it is so much exposed to the wind. If, however, it should happen to lie and thaw and freeze for a month together, it cannot do any harm, as it is unrestricted on every side, and drips away down the roof as it melts. Very much depends on the appearance of the roof in a country house, for it is the first and last feature that impresses the eye, and it should be made an important part of every design. It is for this reason that so many plans of roofs are inserted in this work, and I hope that the casual reader may be induced to give some attention to their arrangement. For this design the plans, specifications, and working drawings were furnished without superintendence. And as the house has been erected several years, I lately wrote to the proprietor, asking him as to its ultimate cost, and if a personal residence in the house had suggested to him any improvement on the plan. He replies, as near as I could get at the cost of the house, for which you drew plans, it was $4,200. With reference to alterations in the plan, I know of none that I would be willing to advise, although others of more knowledge of construction might,